Welcome back to Remembrance of Love. My name is Zoe and I'm really happy that you're here. Today I want to talk about something that so many of you are experiencing, but it's really hard to actually explain. And that is the difference between feelings and knowing. Because when your twin flame comes into your life, yes, there are feelings, of course they are. There can be love, excitement, fear, confusion, sometimes even obsession, let's be honest. But underneath all of that, there's something else. And it's not a feeling, it's a knowing. And the best way I can describe it is it's these feelings, they're so loud. They come in waves, they pull you up, they pull you down, they change depending on what's actually happening. For example, one day your twin may message you and you feel amazing, you feel connected, you feel reassured, you feel calm. And the next moment or the next day, they go quiet again and suddenly you feel this anxiety and you start overthinking everything. And you say to yourself, did I say something wrong? Have they lost interest? What's going on? You question it. You question yourself. That's feelings and they move constantly. But the knowing is still there in both moments. Even when you're anxious, there's still something in you that quietly says, this is not random, this person matters. There is something real here, and it doesn't shout, it's not dramatic, it's actually really neutral. And that's why it can be easy to miss, because we're so used to listening to the loudest voice, which is usually our emotions or our thoughts. Another example, you might try to walk away, and I know a lot of you may have done this already, and you've said to yourself, that's it, I'm done, this is too much, I need to let this go. And on a mental and emotional level, you might have even meant it. You may have felt determined, you may have even felt some kind of relief for a moment, but then still something is there, not pulling you, not forcing you, just there. It's a quiet presence that doesn't disappear. That's the knowing. Or another example is you try to explain the connection to someone else, maybe a friend, maybe a family member, and you hear yourself talking and you think, this sounds crazy. Am I going around the twist? Because there is no logical explanation. There's no solid timeline. There's no clear structure. There's no normal way to define it. But even while you're questioning it out loud, there's a part of you that isn't confused at all. There's a part of you that just knows what this is. And you can't prove it, you can't fully explain it, but you just know. And this is where a lot of the inner conflict comes from, because your feelings might be saying, this hurts, this is too much, I don't understand what's happening to me. Your mind might be saying, this doesn't make sense, this isn't logical, maybe you should move on. But the knowing doesn't argue with any of that. It doesn't try to convince your mind, it doesn't try to override your emotions, it just quietly stays. And here's something really important. That knowing isn't actually telling you to chase. It's not telling you to hold on in a painful way. It's not telling you to abandon yourself. That's where people get really confused, because they think, if I know this connection is real, I have to do something about it. But the knowing doesn't come with urgency. It doesn't come with pressure. That urgency, that's emotion. The overthinking, that's the mind. The knowing is just awareness, and that is who you are, the awareness of everything that actually is going on with your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts. And when you start to feel that, something shifts, because inside of being pulled around by every feeling, you start to notice, oh, this is just a feeling passing through. This is anxiety. It's here right now, but it's not the whole truth. This is doubt. It's loud, but it's not deep as the knowing. And this is why I'm so passionate about the work that I do. And that's because I know how intense this can feel when you're in it. It's not just a normal situation where you can talk to anyone and they understand. A lot of the time you feel quite alone on it. And what I offer is just a space where you don't have to explain anything. You don't have to justify what you're feeling or what you're experiencing. You can just come as you are, and I sit with you and I listen, and gently I help you come back to that space within yourself that already knows the remembrance of love. Because you don't need anybody to tell you what this is, you already know. Sometimes you just need the support to trust it without getting lost in everything else that's coming up. So if you ever do feel drawn to do that, I do offer one-to-one phone consultations. It's very relaxed, very natural, just a real conversation. So everything about me and the phone consultations, the service that I offer, is all in the description box down below. So coming back to the knowing and the feelings, the difference, if you're in that moment right now where your emotions feel overwhelming, where your mind is going in circles, going round and round, just pause for a second and ask yourself, what do I actually know? If I take away the fear, the overthinking, the need for answers, and I don't try to force an answer, just notice what is already there, because it's usually very simple, very quiet and very steady. And the more you start to recognise that difference, the more peaceful this journey does become. Not because everything suddenly makes sense, but because you're no longer relying only on emotions to guide you. You're connected to something deeper, something that doesn't come and go. So if you have been questioning yourself, if you've been wondering whether you're imagining this, just know feelings can be confusing, thoughts can be confusing, but that deeper knowing, it doesn't lie, it doesn't need to, it just is. So thank you for being here today. Thank you for listening. I do hope that it's been supportive for you. And as I said, everything you need to know about me and the service I offer is in the description box down below. And if you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe. That's if you feel connected and I resonate with you. And I'm sending you all so much love, so much support, my strength and light, and I love you so very much. See you in the next video. See ya.